Welcome to True Crime Interrogation, where we delve into the account of the third interrogation of Alex Murdaugh. A man entangled in a web of suspicion and grief after the devastating loss of his son Paul and wife. Join us as we piece together the timeline leading up to that fateful night, the investigation that followed, and the harrowing confrontation between law enforcement and a man haunted by his own past. In a town where everyone knows everyone else's business, finding the truth becomes a race against time. As detectives peel back the layers of the Murdaugh family's seemingly idyllic life, they must navigate a world of privilege, power, and hidden motives. But not everything is as it appears. The weight of suspicion bears heavily on Alex Murdaugh, who finds himself at the center of a storm that threatens to expose long-buried secrets. In this gripping true crime exposé, we delve into the mind-bending twists and turns of a case that has left a community shattered and searching for answers. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell to follow so you can help this new channel to grow, where we peel back the layers of secrecy to shed light on a case that has captured the nation's attention.
He's had guns.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was very unusual for Paul not to have guns.
And when you say gun, is it rifles or shotguns or
Everything.
both?
Okay. Yes, sir.
His truck that he normally drove, I believe it was the Platinum, went into the shop that Friday prior to. I think Mark Ball went and got some video from Jimmy Butler's that shows Paul dropping the truck off and not removing anything from it. So basically, he would have taken the rifles out at home. Do you know what he did with those rifles? If he would have put them in a different truck, or if he put them in the house, or would he have? So the truck that he drove, where was it parked on that Friday? So where would he have swapped everything out?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the truck that he drove on Friday. What truck did he swap out from?
I think when he went to Charleston, Dale said that he helped hook up the boat to one of the white Fords. And I know one's a gas and one's a diesel.
So it wouldn't have been the gas truck going to Charleston. I'm not sure. So this occurred the Friday before everything happened?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. On Friday, I had gone to stay in the hospital with my dad. I don't believe that I saw Paul. On Friday.
When did y'all go up to Columbia?
On Saturday.
Why didn't Paul go with y'all?
You know, I mean, Paul, he liked to go to sports when there was a crowd, but that wasn't his thing to go. You know.
Is that always how it's always been, or because of the boat incident?
No. I mean, he wasn't into ball as much.
One thing that I'm trying to understand is your timeline. You said you probably went to the office 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you left early around 5 or 5:30. And there's been some other timelines or times that we've talked about and you can't quite remember. what the times are, what time of day it was. When the dispatcher asked you when was the last time you saw Maggie or talked to Maggie, you said an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. To me, that's, you know, a set, without thinking about it, you rattled off that time. We're sitting here trying to figure out a timeline.
Your question was, you told the dispatcher hour, 2 hours ago?
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
Hour and a half, 2 hours. What time was the 911 call?
10:06 p.m.
Hour and a half, 2 hours prior to that.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Thank you.
And you're having trouble coming up with a specific time.
Oh, man, it's fair. Tell me again what I said to the dispatcher.
You said an hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours.
And what time was that?
That was when you were on the phone, and the 911 call was made at 10:06. So given 2 hours back, that would have been 8.
I mean, I think that's probably about, I think that's probably about right. And so what, you believe I'm giving you an inconsistent answer?
No, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it when I'm asking you what time you went to the office that day, what time you got home.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
At this point in the investigation, did you have the video back from Paul's phone showing the dog at the kennels?
No, sir, I had not.
You said 5 or 5:30. I've gotten the card readout from the law firm, and it shows you going in at 5:30.
Going in the door?
Yes, sir. And Randy says when he left about 6 o'clock, you were still there. So the times aren't matching up. And I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get an understanding of why.
I believe I left, so that's not the first time I was at my office that day.
There were several readings, but your card wouldn't work. Somebody actually had to let you in.
Okay.
But I've got your card opening the door at the law firm at 5:30. And then Randy saying when he left at 6, you were still there. I'm trying to understand.
You know, I left the office earlier than I normally do.
What's your normal time to leave?
I mean, it's not unusual for me to be there till dark. You know, I try to get home when Maggie's home, you know, before dark.
She don't like staying out there by herself in the dark.
That's right. So, you know, if it was 5:30 or 6, you know, I don't think I was still there at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
But, you know, if I was, it wasn't long after that.
Okay.
So, you know, I believe that I went straight home. So, you know, my car, have y'all been able to get Chevrolet to download my?
We're still working on that.
Okay.
That's a long process.
Well, I mean, I got home early enough for Paul and I to ride the property for a substantial length of time. You know, more than an hour. I thought probably a couple of hours that we were together, but somewhere.
Did you go down the river?
We rode down all the roads. I believe that we. I mean, we rode all over. We rode all over.
Have I been able to answer some of your questions? I know you probably have more. But with my questionings, trying to get some things cleared up, have I given you some answers?
Well, I mean, I do know more than I did, for sure. So, yes, I mean, some of those questions have certainly, yes, sir, been answered.
What other questions do you have that?
I would like to know exactly what happened.
Me too. The best that I've been able to put together.
Tell me, it looks like. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I believe Paul was shot first. For the simple fact of where he was located.
How many times was he shot?
Twice.
I thought he shot Maggie first because I could tell he shot her in the back of the head.
What, you said he thought he shot Maggie first, or Maggie was shot first?
Alex stated that he thought Maggie was shot first because she had been shot in the back of the head.
Go ahead.
We may honestly never know who was first, but I think it was Paul, for the simple fact he wouldn't have, if he saw his mother getting shot, he wouldn't have run to that feed ring. Unless that's where one of the guns was. But, you know, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did they get down there?
And how did they get down there?
Did you just ask him, we've established family guns were used?
Yes, I did.
Objection's overruled. Proceed.
What was his response?
Sorry.
Would nothing be the answer?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in the cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you,
Just right before that question, please.
And how did they get down there? You know, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
and how did they get down there?
And how did they get down there? I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in the cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you know that the guns were in the truck? I mean, could they have been somewhere else?
They could have been somewhere else. I mean, he didn't have his normal truck.
And I understand that Nolan Tootin believes he saw the gun 3 weeks beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't talked to him, but is he believes it was the one that, not the one that was at the house?
I think it was a Benelli was his shotgun that he always kept, that Paul always kept with him.
Paul primarily kept, he kept one of a couple of Benellis.
Yeah, it was a camo Benelli. Is the last one that Nolan saw.
Okay.
And HDD, some type of 7mm rifle.
Yes, sir.
Do you have that at home?
Yes, sir. That's what he saw?
That's what he saw.
'Cause I was told by somebody that Nolan saw a 300.
He told me he had not seen a 300 since March after turkey season.
Okay, well, somebody.
Well, those were the go-to guns, and those are the last ones that he saw.
The
He said he had,
HDD and the.
and Benelli. He had not seen the 300 since March during turkey season.
And he definitely saw it during turkey season?
Yes, sir.
Because there was some point, back when it was missing at Christmas time.
The third one's missing at Christmas time?
Yes, sir. So, anyway, if he saw it in March.
Did y'all get any kind of forensic of anything that y'all found? Just the rain and the,
I mean, we got plenty of DNA from the scene, but
yeah.
it's Nolan's, it's Rogan's, it's Alex, it's Paul's, it's Maggie's, it's Buster's.
Everybody's
Yeah.
David, can you tell me for sure? Did either one of them live after they were shot first time?
Not long.
Does that mean?
The shooting happened very quickly. Very quickly.
Is this one person, two persons, three persons?
Is that the first time he's ever asked you that?
Yes, sir.
Ever?
That I recall, yes.
In the whole investigation to this point?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I got two guns. I got two different types of ammunition. It's hard to say. It is hard to say.
No, neither one of them saw for very long.
Matter of seconds, if that.
Thank you.
Have y'all been able to get anything in Paul's phone that might lead to anybody but a beef? Let me ask you this question. It comes from Randy. I feel like I didn't talk to you about this, but
It's okay.
they got a lot of friends in the community. From the upper echelon to the lowest socioeconomic level. They think that they can ask people to keep ears out, loose lips, talking, that kind of stuff, but they don't want to reach out to anybody. Not purpose, unless y'all think it's okay. I'm not talking about paying people to do stuff,
Yeah.
investigators.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to Randy about this as well. He posed that question to me.
Right.
I'm not going to ask anybody in the law firm or anybody in the family, hey, go out and see what you can find and report back to me.
Sure.
Because then it can be construed as they're working as an agent of the state.
Sure.
And
I understand
Yeah.
that completely.
Um,
You don't even have to
yeah,
explain that, I
yeah.
understand it.
So, I mean, I told Randy, I said, I certainly can't stop you from going out. But I wouldn't ask them what they know and then report back to me. Tell them to call me. Tell them to call the tip line we have still set up. Or if you hear somebody talking about it, encourage them to call. Or give me the name and I'll go call.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
So David, we don't have not anything substantive that really makes you think, hey, this is a good.
Like I said, the only DNA we have are family and close friends. We don't have any fingerprints. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have any shoe wear or tire wear impressions because it rained that night. The only thing that we can go off of are the cell tower dumps, or I know the FBI was out and they were out on your property on Friday riding around trying to get some cell phone data. Unfortunately, all of that takes time.
And y'all had to send because his vehicle's new, you had to send that off?
Yes, sir.
So it's not like when we hire experts and they come in and just download it.
It's 2021 and they don't have the systems for it yet.
Gotcha.
But they're creating a system from what I understand.
Okay. Now, I don't know exactly how the OnStar thing works. I know how the control module works, but this is something different, right? Or is it all contained in the same thing?
There are two different systems that we took out.
Yeah.
One is OnStar and the other one is the telemetry system or infotainment center.
Yeah.
And the FBI says there is information there.
Yeah.
They just have to be able to extract it and put it in a report.
Sure. Okay.
I
So
mean,
you're just waiting for
yes,
that?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on the search warrant from OnStar
Okay.
to see what kind of information they can give me.
Good.
There's,
You need us signing something expedites that. I told you we'll
yeah,
get.
I know.
I don't
Appreciate
own the
that.
car, but whoever
Yeah.
we need to will sign whatever authorization you need.
Okay.
So you had said that, or maybe Jim told me or something about y'all were able to get in Paul's phone just with a search warrant?
We have a what they call a partial download.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the passcode.
Sure.
We can't do a full extraction.
Do you think, so, my thought was that I don't know who's required to authorize Apple to open it.
Mhm.
I know there was that big thing where they weren't going to do it
Yes, sir.
for whatever case. But I thought that if we, I think Maggie owned the phone. I think it was in her name. The account was in her name.
Well, you have to have your own separate iCloud account for each phone, and we've done that for Maggie's, Paul's,
Okay.
and Alex.
Okay.
iCloud accounts
Yeah.
to see if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
There was nothing in Paul's. I'm still waiting on Maggie's.
Maggie did back hers up
Mhm.
and stuff. I know that.
Does that mean Paul didn't back his up?
Probably.
But what my thought was, and I don't know if this is even possible, but if we get the estate and we get the personal representative who is now the authorized person to authorize it to be opened. I mean, surrounded by 100 lawyers, we can get a probate done like that, and I can have the powers of appointment done in 2 days, and we can authorize whatever it is you need to open.
And that might be beneficial.
So,
I think Randy and I, or somebody and I talked about that
yeah,
before.
yeah, well, and I said I'd do it if any of us could do it.
Yeah. Who would be the representative? Just somebody at the law firm?
Probably one of your brothers, I would think.
For Maggie and Paul's estate.
Yeah.
Probably me, or
Mhm.
I mean,
or
I'm
my
doing
brothers,
it.
but whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever it
Yeah.
is will do whatever
Yeah.
y'all need to do to, no, it won't be anybody that'll be uncooperative.
Okay. Well, I mean, if y'all would go ahead and start working on that, then we'll reach out to Apple and figure out how we get that accomplished.
All right, because gotta be something there.
Mhm.
Gotta be something there. I can't think of anything else. I mean, have y'all had to track down all the wackos on the internet? Or just only the ones that you think seem a little more, not the opportunity and the inclination, you know?
There's been a few that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But some of the information is just so far-fetched. I talked with one guy. He called in and says, well, I knew that Maggie's son bought a house right around the corner. I'm like, okay, well, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
That Maggie had left her husband some time ago and was going to move to Florida to be closer to her father because mother was dead.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, thank you, God.
Mhm. So it's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, people that want to get involved.
Yeah.
People that think they have some information. Especially the manner of death.
Mhm.
They're all over the place.
Well, I mean, y'all been taking a licking in the press about not disclosing stuff, but Jesus Christ, man.
I
if
don't
you-
have anything to disclose.
Well, and why are you gonna tell the bad guy what you got?
Thank you.
I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, look.
Nobody wants to know more than this man right here and this man right here.
I know.
Everybody
I
else. believe
that.
Everybody else.
David, how far apart in time were the shot? And did one of them know the other one was dead or had been shot?
I think it's impossible to answer that question. I think it is impossible.
But you certain Paul was shot first?
I believe he was. I'm not certain. I believe he was.
Maggie would have known that then, wouldn't she? You don't know how soon afterwards she was shot?
And it all depends on how many shooters were there. I mean, if we're looking at two shooters, it could have happened at the same time. If we're looking at one shooter, it would have happened. And I know you can't help but think about it, but don't beat yourself up over getting an answer. It's not going to do anything to you.
When I asked you, now that you talked to me, are you willing to, if some of my family, Maggie's mom and dad or sister, are you willing to talk to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'll meet them where they want to.
It would
I
be
mean, I
easy if
know-
you could meet them
And
closer to them.
yeah. No, I mean, I live in Charleston, so it's
Yeah.
nothing for me to shoot up to Somerville and meet with the Brandsetters.
Thank you. I know y'all are doing everything you can. And I don't take any personal offense at asking me these questions. I know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, I mean, and I hate to give any credence to the media, but with the media keep throwing you in there, then
You gotta ask the questions.
if I can get every bit of evidence possible that's going to exonerate.
But when you get my car stuff, that'll help.
Al, you said earlier Maggie didn't like staying out there by herself.
Yes, sir.
Was there any kind of I know we asked you once before in one of the earlier interviews about cameras, and have y'all talked about doing any kind of camera system out there? You know, stuff getting missing. You know, Maggie talking about stuff getting missing. We're hearing that type of stuff, so.
We never really had problems with stuff missing, but we still talked about getting, you know, cameras and, you know, doing all of that, but we just hadn't done it. We talked about it for a while.
But not really any conversation about stuff up and walking away or getting missing between you and Maggie.
Any conversations between me and Maggie about stuff?
You and
missing?
Maggie or you and Paul, either one, about stuff that had been missing, or had somebody came up and taken from the bar or from the house or anything like that?
Only thing that I can remember being discussed missing was some drills and some Milwaukee tools.
How long ago was that?
Couple of it was since CB got hired, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because that was one of the things Paul, when he was looking for him, was going to ask CB. And I'd had a boy working out there for just a short period named Matt Luce. Is that the first time you've heard his name?
The last name, yeah. I've heard that there was Matt.
Matt Luce. I think it's spelled Luce.
And he basically did what CB does now?
No,
Or something?
he came in and was, you know, just trying to, because I didn't have anybody working out there, just to kind of keep things from getting totally out of control.
Mm-hmm.
He came in and, you know, he does that for another friend, works with another friend, and he's just kind of coming in to help me, you know, probably I believe he probably would have been there in the late fall, probably, I'm guessing.
Is he from Hampton or Walterboro?
He's from Beaufort, I believe, originally, but he lives up in, he lives between Beaufort and, I'm trying to think of the name of the plantation that my friend Barrett Bowler has. That's who he works for.
Barrett Bowler.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah, I spelled
It's Bowler is how it looks.
B-O-U-L-W-R-E.
Ken, Tom Bowler,
Tom Bowler. Yes, sir. He was like one of my granddaddy's contemporaries, and now there's a Tom Bowler that's kind of just retired, and they are. I think that's they're kin, but not super close.
How old is Matt? Ish.
I'd say he's 35, like that. Maybe.
Do you still have his number?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have his number in my phone. guilty.
Where'd you go?
I had to step out and use the restroom.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I just text the guy to send it to me. We'll have it. Can you think of anything else you want to ask questions about? Alright. Off the top of my head.
The pair of guns that you bought for the Christmas presents, they were matching set, correct, other than color. Am I right about that?
Yes, sir. They were exactly the same.
With thermal night vision and stuff like that. The one that you purchased to replace the lost one, did it have any kind of optics on it? Night vision, scope, anything like that?
It doesn't have a night vision scope. And I don't know if Paul had put something on it. He would move scopes around from gun to gun to gun, but I'm not. Oh.
Then we're gonna break for lunch. Turn at 2:20. You may proceed. Yes, sir.
Specific scope on it.
I don't know if you had, or we asked, when was the last time that gun had been seen? Do you know of?
I know that we looked for it around the Christmas holidays, or we went to get it around the Christmas holidays. I asked about it around the Christmas holidays.
Of 20, this past Christmas
Yes, sir.
holidays? Okay. And that was the replacement, what I guess we call it. or-
That's correct.
Okay.
Still trying to figure this out. cannot exclude the boat incident and those involved. I know that y'all are currently going through the civil portion. How far had that progressed? I mean, were y'all in the talks? Was it breaking down?
Can I say something real quick? I know nothing about the any of that stuff, and he's represented by lawyers in that case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I personally believe he shouldn't be talking about that unless the lawyers he's represented by participate. I don't think it's. I mean, I'm sure that they're happy to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that that a person should be talking about a pending action like that without their lawyers knowing about it and what. Because I know nothing about it. I was completely separated from it.
I don't mind. You know, I have insurance companies hired lawyers, and then some of my partners are helping with that also. But it's made some progress. It's still unresolved, but it's not in its initial stages by any means.
Okay. And what I'm getting at with this, it's in progress. I just want to make sure that it's not make sure. Bad word there. Did one party say this and y'all countered or something like that where the other people are pissed off, and now we have somebody out there with more motive because now they're thinking, Paul's going to get away with this. And
I mean, I'm not aware of any of those discussions. The only thing that I am aware of is that I've learned that one of the daddies of one of the kids in the boat wreck went to lengths to, or maybe it was his son, I don't know, but I was told that there are people out there that were being told you can't be friends with Paul and the Murdaughs and with us. You gotta choose.
And that was a dad going out telling.
I don't know.
Or
I don't.
It was that dad or that kid going out saying this stuff.
I don't know that. I was told by a person who had been told that. It's Nate Tootin is the boy's name.
Okay.
So
Is that,
you can find out
is
from
that
him.
any kin to Nolan?
It's Nolan's younger brother.
Okay.
It's Nolan's younger brother. So. I'm gonna answer this
Yes,
if y'all
sir.
don't mind. Buster
Yeah.
and I have a deal. Buster?
You probably don't get much service in here.
Buster.
If you go outside, hit that green button on the right.
Explain my inability for the time. Apparently there's a period here where we've agreed we'll fast forward, which will pick back up when he comes back in. And the defense has agreed with that, is my understanding.
Correct.
If you don't have any more questions,
This is the Snapchat video that I'm talking about from Paul's phone. Okay. So it just kind of brings back here.
Okay, I tell you what, yeah, we were laughing about that because, he's laughing because I'd gone to great lengths to try to, that tree had gotten knocked over, and I'd gone to great lengths to try to get it to, you know, be upright.
Okay.
And,
Was that night? Because the friends that we talked to said it was posted that night.
I'm not sure.
Somebody's phone on?
Sorry?
Somebody's phone on? No, it's somebody's phone. I hear like somebody talking in the background. Okay. Like it was a call that had dropped or something.
I knew you would. Throw this dry.
Yeah.
You need some?
Anybody from the boat or their family that you've heard or know of any issues with them recently or prior to this incident?
Like any confrontations?
Or them saying anything in the community about the lawsuit or the pending charges, anything that would kind of lead me?
I mean, David, I told you about the, you know, the, Kenya tree horn. A month or so, maybe 6 weeks before this happened, called me, you know, just all out of sorts, you know, and told me, I told you about that,
Yes, sir.
right?
We've interviewed her, yes, sir.
So, I mean, she said she'd heard it from 2 different places that the family from the boat wreck was, you know, it was over the top that I really didn't, you know, pay it a bunch of attention. You know, and I asked her about it. She said she didn't know who the people were, but she said that it was with a friend. It was at a friend's party. She knew who the friend was and would take y'all to the friend. So, you know, has she talked to you about that?
She's given us very little.
Do you feel like she's being evasive? Because let me tell you what I've tried not to do. I know y'all have to look at me. I've tried to have as little discussions with the people that y'all are interviewing, you know, with all this talk about how I fixed this and fixed that with the boat wreck, which is totally untrue. You know, I've tried to not have a lot of conversation with people that, you know, I know y'all need to talk to.
Well, the problem that I encounter, and I think everybody in law enforcement encounters in any investigation, people on the street talk and they run their mouth and they'll talk to friends and they'll talk to families and they'll talk to victims, but when the police show up, they keep their mouth shut.
So she's not talking to you?
She has given us some information.
Okay.
Some information.
So is there a problem with me going to her and, you know?
I'm not going to answer that.
So you're not telling me not to do it?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
Either way.
I'll get somebody to talk to her. All right, to try to get her to cooperate with you.
Darn, allergies. Excuse me. All right, do you have any more questions that I might be able to answer? And if you can't think of any now, reach out, call me.
I will know. I mean, you've answered a lot of things I had questions about, and I appreciate it.
And I'll call the Bransteaders and see if they want to meet. Maybe get Marion up there at the same time so I can just meet with them all together. Does Marion, I know they live on the Walla Walla, does Marion work?
No, she doesn't work. And they're kind of between Wadmalaw and, I mean, they're residents of the state of Florida, but
Okay.
they're here as much as but they're in Greenville a lot right now.
Yeah, because it's grandbaby.
The baby, that's right.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. I just, a few more questions.
Okay?
Did you kill Maggie?
No. Did I kill my wife?
Yes, sir.
No, David.
Do you know who did?
No, I do not know who did.
Did you kill Paul?
No, I did not kill Paul.
Do you know who did?
No, sir, I do not know who did. Do you think I killed Maggie?
I have to go where the evidence and the facts
I
take me.
understand that. And you think I killed Paul?
I have to go where the evidence and the facts take me, and I don't have anything that points to anybody else at this time.
So does that
Yes.
mean that I am a suspect?
You were still in, like I told Corey earlier, you were still in this. With everything that we've talked about, with the family guns, the ammunition, nobody else's DNA. I have to put my beliefs aside and go with the facts.
Talking with Mr. Griffin, there's one sentence after that before we redacted. We both agreed that I could leave and ask you, after that last question, do you say, well, I understand, I mean, and shaking his head?
Yes.